Dudes, it's still 25th, January 2022. I spent a little bit of time earlier speaking about Kim Gogween and her challenges in the etheric world, having been the one to take over the money system. So what I'd like to do now is focus on, the team that's going forward. We have a broad mess that rules the world right now with malevolent intent against humans. I mean, those that we elect are so greedy and selfish and have vacated their responsibilities to their fellow humans, if they are human. So we've chosen the veil of forgetfulness, and we're in this window now that we were all born into. And because of that, we're never going to stop breathing. I don't know if I'll be smoking these 500 years from now. I might be, after I've smoked the best, or it's all gone, and it'll never be gone. And I don't want to be prideful or let my ego drive this presentation, because I kind of know better than that. So I walk a balance with this. I do enjoy the flavor, the taste. For all of you that like things between the ritual and the consumption, this is a natural product. You feel good when you do it. It's not I wouldn't call it addictive, because you have it. So what I would like to do is focus on Yeshua ben Joseph is the king, okay? I have always naturally gravitated towards, hey, what else is there? I was blessed to be born into it. Happened to be on the bullseye of the target, which is the cross, which is, okay, the story's all baffled around, but then you understand what it really means. And it's incredible, because it's true. That whole thing, it's true. It's not empty, it's all true. So, I follow him. He's my lead guy. I know that we're all supposed to be equals, but he's a power hitter. And he did what he needed to do. So here we are. And be assured that he's a very wise man in terms of the way ahead. Because I'm sure he, as a man of free will, would have had some voting input on the nature of humanity going forward. Now, he's the king. He's going to get 1,000 years of, you did it, and you deserve it, and he's always going to be the wingman that's right there, serious to hear. We're all going to be elated about how it's all going to be presented to us, because we can't envision it yet. But he has given it over. I can envision this. He's given it over to his divine feminine twin flame counterpart, who is innovative, was emotional towards men, got herself in a position where she learned, and she put it behind her. So Mary Magdalene was who she was, and I've got books I need to read about her. But as far as human beings go, there are a lot of us in the story here that comprise the collective. So I just identified the ultimate. So we can all blossom from there to Guan Yin or Buddha or Hathor. What is going on here? Director, cut. Whoosh. Oh, not again. You know, all the cultures. I'm going to talk about New Earth here in a minute, but I just want to help scope out. I didn't do a good enough job about this 10% that Kim Goguen had identified. So this is sort of designed for people. My earlier briefing is for the knock on Fred and Barney at the bowling alley. This is for people who are awake, who listen to me. You know, I see when my videos pop on that there's, 10 or 20 or 30. I don't know if they know me or they're hearing the right stuff, but I'm happy that, every light bulb that goes up on the tree means the pixels come into play.
Your device isn't set up yet.
Paradoxically speaking.
Download
Excuse me?
the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Okay, thank you for that. Commercial interruption, Mr. Google. I didn't tell him that. Her. Him, her. Alright, so let's, I'm sorry. Do this carefully. Woo-hoo. Good, we're still in play. Still in play. So, this was the diagram I was working off earlier. And what I didn't do a good enough job of describing was this inside, we'll call it the 10% piece. That's our potential energy in the 440 land. It's been harnessed with us as the machines down here doing all the work. We're the lamps that they've stolen from. This is Thoth country down here. Then we're all, and we get dimmed out. And now we're going to wake up. And they're going to want to get us. They're coming to get us. But we're not going to be gotten this time. Okay, so in terms of densities, I just threw some numbers out here, but not so much regarding densities. I mean, Dolores Cannon happens to have been probably a crystal who was admired, and she skipped second density. But, I will not do justice to numerical values, but this is divine feminine. If you just want to go up second, and we're in third density now, us. So at this level, and again, we're in the 10% crowd of we at third density are making all this happen. They're taking 90% of our stuff here at our level of awareness. So now we're moving up to fourth density, and it's a level of awareness. We're pushing out on the Truman story on the paper plate here. And who's in our show going forward for the forever creation of what we're going to do? This is far from inclusive, but, because Yeshua got the obvious, it's divine feminine led. It's crystalline grid. If this was the earth, there's crystals that are buried all over the place. Arkansas, Brazil, out in Lake Tahoe, many more that I don't know about. So our earth, this is all, it's a showboat that just needs to be Joan Crawford, across the table, sort of. There are elements here that maybe, we like that thing, let's do that, and they'll cherry pick that George Washington tree and shiv it down a river. But the composite social memory complex, in terms of, call them role models of leaders of, you're going to be in a huge number of fellows in the flock of, whoa, Who do I listen to? So I'm explaining to you, having said that, these are good voices, okay? Just go here as opposed to watching the news. You don't need to listen to me, but I'll be an occasional broadcaster. I'd love to say, don't watch TV. As long as the internet's up, watch me talk about this stuff, because this is where we're going. Meditating, time travel, how are we going to learn how to heal each other Gnostically? This is a Gnostic crowd. They're comfortable talking about meditation and who is appearing for what purpose angelically. Sam the Illusionist. There's not enough male representation on this slide. There's Tom Deuce. There's Aaron Abke. I mean, you could go on and on with the guys. I put a few names on here that, I've crossed paths with or am led to, that I'm including right here. So they're typical of the divine feminine energy out there that's by the thousands and thousands of. They're going to lead. They're the mothers. They're all mothers. They have children. So Yeshua was like, okay, mom, mom, okay, got it. I'll be helping, because I did, and I will continue to, and I'm the coach of the coaches who spins all the ladies positive, and they know it already because they got it. They got it. Crystalline grid programmers are all of us, but the ones that are encoding us now with the light codes as humans and the DNA cosmic transmissions, the multi-dimensional entries to your avatar are coming that way. 31 January is big. But here are your names. Suzanne Spooner. She's a level 3 QHHT practitioner of Dolores Cannon. She also does another thing called Talk. Kia Ra. This is an important. This team right here. I'm a cheat sheet person. Notice I put her going northwest. She needed to be there because that's where the seraphim is at. That's where Orion, the imaginary place of the perfect place has been reserved up here. Just in this circle of angels that she, divine feminine. I think I can roll them out pretty quick. You've got the Indian buffalo lady from the Pleiades, who's the North Star. Then you have Isis, prior personality of 6 o'clock Mary, and then Hathor, and then Tara, and then Mary Magdalene, and Guan Yin. And this is the direction right here. This is where everybody's going, whoop. This is Orion, and Sirius. Sirius is coming this way positionally, but it is protection. For the analogy of you in the middle, just getting advice. And there's so much to learn from the Sophia code. Sophia, divine feminine. Emmanuel, light. There's divine masculine also. Our Father, absolute. So there will be men who can instruct in wise ways that you'll know. And we're going together, guys. One team, one fight. There's no fighting. Ow. My leg. Oh. So what else should I say? Since we're chatting. One creator. Out this way. We're Gnostic. This is a hall of records that was described earlier. This is like contract of Hollywood imposition of how the world works. It was contracted out. And then they sat up on the top and did nothing. We did all the work. I mean, you could look at it that way. The government. We were all contractors and government guys. The joke is that the government guys get hired and then they hire contractors so they can have meetings. And the contractors do all the work. We know it. The contractors. People ought to be laughing their cheeks off listening to me. You want a divine feminine piece of work right up here. Patricia Bowie, have a seat. You call the shots, task conditions and standards. Patricia Bowie, right there. A good boss. She cried. She was a rigger that jumped into Uwari. Warrant officer. Good woman. And they hired her at SOCOM. And I was the trainer. It was great. It was great. So I'm trying to train you guys. Task conditions and standards, not really applicable here. We're talking about a team that needs to learn a lot of things, because all you guys, if you're hearing me, you're specs in here. And we're going to live forever. We'll never stop breathing. I don't even know if it's dawned on these people who are talking. They're just so lit. They don't realize, wait, I'm not going to die. You're not telling me that part. Kira, where's that in your introductory? Hi, everybody. Don't forget, we're not going to die. How come I'm the only guy right here saying it? Okay, everybody knows it. But it's kind of like, hey, what if something happens and I have a life insurance policy? You know, we're still eating hamburgers down here. Are we not? Are we not? Having banquets with meat. Thanksgiving. And we're the turkeys. But we're going to come out of it. The Indians knew better. Hey, we're bringing the corn, But not necessarily. The Indians, they're wearing that second density proudly. Because they're merged, they revere it, they use it properly, naturally, and we all have to do better. So, in that regard, let me try and do this in 24 minutes. It's 17 and change now. We state your name, put Christ at the end. As divinely wise, entitled, loving collective. Okay? This being gone now, the cataclysms and the Terminex occur, and now, whoop, here's Gaia. And it blows out, and it's expanded, and we get control now of how are we going to reorganize the earth with no government and no maritime law. It may change in the near term if the CERN won't hit the jackpot. But because Gaia adjusts to the feelings of man, until we hit 31 January, we're in a window of hiccup to make people reminded that this is a real thing that's happening. So nobody should be surprised when... if you watch the alternative news on YouTube, you see the space weather with solar flares and the volcanoes, and guys try and tie those together, and Planet X being potentially back somewhere on the radar. That's all just fear provocation, because Planet X is not in the window right now. We'll go visit Planet X when we get ourselves together here and go see who's on the ship, go meet them. What I would like to get organized with is a commonality, and people are doing it already, from a practical, logical, reasonable, layout. How do we want to transform this system that's dropping into a new unity of effort? Okay, we are the gun will go off, boom, new system. Okay, well, just to get ahead of it from an organizational standpoint, wouldn't it be great if we organized by logical terrain and cultures? Maybe they did that 4,000 years ago, or sort of, you were sort of organized that way. That's why there are these people that have their own languages and their own dances, but they all, in their own expression of back to the Creator with their part of their faith, the mystical parts of their legends and their lores that should be honored. Okay? That's not get rid of all religions. Freaking Michael Jaco, him and his bullshit. Okay, we won't distract on that. But please, the best elements of the reverence. How can you go do India and not do temples, and Thailand and not understand who Buddha was? Excuse me? Now, the Vatican, wham, let's wipe that off our cemetery, dead box. No need to visit it because it's probably not going to be around, along with DC. Those places that just represent this are allegedly going to be demolished. I don't have a sledgehammer in my hand. I'm speaking on behalf of Source and the angels, so it's going to happen. I'm not telling you to run from DC. I'm saying, drive at a good speed. But what do we want the world to look like? The earth that we can freely sail around. Go with how you manage your day, the festivals that are organized by cultures. Kim Gogwin, if she's got the money and we get assembled so that the Africans get what they need and all this, unfortunately, I won't get upset because I have a love in my heart now that I didn't know my whole life, and it's for the people of Africa, because they sort of get this indirect blame as, hey, it came from there, it came from the jungle where we got them from. And you know what? That's bullshit. And so, what I like about, where is she? Freaking her. What I like about this, when I try and peel back this organization she's got going, there are African organizations that are doing this. GP, what are your needs? Tell us what your needs are. And I think, my heart is still in, this is, I'm going to say I'm not being duped. So if you're following me, there is reasonable, good suspicion that the best possible, because we're in this window of it's supposed to happen. So why wouldn't there be a woman who had the DNA to get the Swift code access? She took it from Gates. Gates was using Azure, ladies and gentlemen. He piled all the businesses and all the transactors of this system that was run by this person called Marduk, who's been around for many a year. Because when they got GMO'd up, they were given these capabilities, the Anunnaki, to expand their life. So I don't want to get on truth too much, but I do want to apply it to truth. So this woman is a counterpart to that, and she snapped that out of the picture when the time came. But prior to it, this being foreshadowed her coming in. They did a Rockefeller, oh, she's 13 years old, they scoped her out. She testifies to all this, and I believe her. So this is all upper astral stuff that's going on here. There's lower astral, there's upper astral, but I'm referring to a woman who's adamant. The word just flows with where she's going, and we should accompany this, because it takes the existing, whatever is termed to be the treasures and the promises of humanity. She's got her hands on that. And so in that light, I'm trying to explain it to you that this is our chance. So here comes the big sweeping money from this system, and I use this because she explains how this works. I'm sorry, her system might be a pentagram. Where the hell? Yeah, I think it's this. I happen to have drawn it in here, but without the intent of talking about her. This is the Star of David. So a lot of this corruption can be symbolized in many ways. Just like this. I used it here to, I'll get on my little, stuff.
symbolically, a Harley, you think about a guy with a, we have friends, don't we? Who hang out. They're good dudes when you get to know them, but there's an attachment here. Oh, but this is American, this is German. Okay, this is Milwaukee. Whose helmet are they wearing? Right here. So this is a model. It's not a person. Oh, shame on you. But hey, guess what? They are what they are, and you like them. Those are the dudes. They showed up in class once in a while, and they left when they want. If they showed up, they left. But that's not the point of humor. Okay? Dark's not staying in power anymore. We're lighting everything up. You are the light of the world. Have love in your heart. And we're going to get lit. And in that regard, well, the money's coming, okay? And this is not your time to say, oh, I owe $17,000 on my house. I got to write Kim Gogween and her peoples so they can make a note so you get paid. It's not quite like that. It's more of an assembly-oriented, and they've got reps or whatever that are doing this. Please, allow me. They've got reps that are doing this that are practical, functional, I won't say non-angelic, but I'll say pro-humanistic. What do we need for our brothers and sisters? Feed the poor, clothe the homeless, needs houses. The Habitat for Humanity mindset of, yeah, let's pay for it. And we don't need to go call it a charitable thing because it's the budget. The budget is the solution of everything that people need when we just articulate it in a way that causes it to flow naturally. So now you've got festivals all over the world where the Kim Gogwin transition systems means that, the 3 months of the year when you want to be in the new Asia, Lemuria, Naga, you're knocking around on doing your bed, bath, and hang out and go see and enjoy the festival. It's a path of why not? Others are time traveling, way out. But here's my point. So this beautiful lady has organized herself. She's in French. Half of her YouTube messages are with the French ladies. How interesting, Suzanne, that the French ladies came to QHHT Live. So the resonance is there with the French, just because it is. I'm not in charge of any of it. I'm just saying that from an organizational standpoint, we have organizations, and she's got appointed stars throughout her continents. And this great woman, this adamant starseed of lore, has her organization. And they're good people. I see the faces. They're the guys that, hey, when the door closes, you're getting the same thing you had when they were on the camera. You just know it. You can tell by a presentation style that, hey, it's not going to be that much different. The message doesn't change. And that's what I like about it. So back here, New Earth. All right, I'm at 29. I blew my suspense. Oh, I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to close out, but I'm going to say, as we move through this, she was dealing at 5th density. 6th density is where Lucifer's at. That's the relax zone. Lucifer is not, if I would say, I would be bold enough to say that if you see any, call it new attachment with this one coming back in, I'm just calling this because I have a feeling. Let's get clear about Lucifer. Lucifer is on Nibiru. Nibiru and Lucifer are two, arm in arm. Woo, they went. So the critter is the critter, and I'm not going to use words of anything other than the critter. And so I drew the word yes. It's Lucifer. You want an abyss? Let me go find it. It's a little bit of a Prince Albert in a can. Woo, I'm going out. And he petered out and he's out here. So he's still stuck in third density. That king that ate black people and they worshipped them. Whoop. The Queen Reptile's husband got a transfer. He's not burning in hell. Neither is this one, because there is no hell. He's out here going, yeah, woo, on the Bureau, the pirate ship. What? Oh, it's that time? Okay. Oh, they're calling me. Oh, my goodness. The Jesuits are calling me. Hey, fellas. Oh, shucks. Those doggone portals are closed. All right, party on. She takes a yawn. They're coming back. You see how much Nibiru gets into the actual play of the problem, other than to park at the dock so we can go float up there and party on, because Lucifer won't blow it. Now, you watch. This is sixth density, and she, the false light. You're talking about light, sixth density light, ladies and gentlemen. She ain't got no weapons. She took off. She. Venus was like part of the show, the false light. You know, the whole woo-woo with the mass, and oh, I'm back, and okay, body of Christ. Oh, yes, of course, body of Christ. Oh, how could there not be? And Trump. Now, here's what I'm going to say. You other I'm not grabbing other pie trays here to show you where these other Martians are going, because they're not coming back. They're just banging it out. The dark ones. Oh, it's just very, very sad. However, the colors are here going forward for us. People, the news is so good that I'm not going to turn to my face. Just understand that the ladies are going to lead. So look to Marianne Williamson. If Tulsi Gabbard can shake out her CFR, she's an intelligent woman. She follows Marianne, Sarah Sanders. You know, you could see when I got turned on to her by one of my QHHT redheads, who was a Biden. Okay, Biden's good. Whatever. I'm past that. When I picked up on the future, true future, Marianne Williamson, right away. You know, she's playing in a world here, and she's trying to be here. So just watch her deal, cause she's a political version of her. Jose. Meet her at the airport. Meet her doing a normal thing at a picnic. These are picnic ladies that you're just meeting at the picnic. You understand me? They're not Greta Garbo'd out with false crap when you don't know what you're talking to. These are real women. They all are. And please understand that the most of the enlightened, there are so many that either in this life or in other lives, they got the beat down in order to be presiding for our Creator. And that's just sort of how it goes for so many that you see that are they've got the chips in them that include, oh, you had to rise up from the ashes and here you are. And it's pretty impressive. But we're going up. Guys, this is it. We're going up. Okay, 31 January is going to be it. And the ladies that we need to look at to help us use the storage of value, because this true value statement of what is going on here with fiat currency, and is the news report tomorrow just gonna make it go away? Because they did. I was the wise stock person with my bonds, balancing my bonds for the utilities against the stocks for my dividend paying whop. And it all goes away. But the smart ones, You know, I'll say the smart guys, the Weisenheimers, you know, they're doing it. So, you know, you give them credit if they're coming here. This is it. You got to go truth. You got to meditate. My fellows, in this abyss of this madness, if you are not meditating and closing your eyes, then you're missing it. All right, so I need to close it out, but we need to talk about the new earth because we can envision it very easily. The guidance right now is for 10 minutes a day. Pick your spot that you envision transform to the unimaginably, tremendously good experience. You know, they're way past 6 o'clock in the Philippines, but you could spit shine that place up. Holy smokes, I'm going back. William's going back. And I'm going to meet Manny Pacquiao. And you guys just know that we're going to do new things. The competition. We don't need to have competition. We need to reinvent sport to a best ball. Everybody laughs. Everybody enjoys. If you got to work on your thing, then everybody helps you work on your swing, and everybody's a scratch golfer. You hope Donald's in this crew. We don't know. He's very mad. Donald's mad at the fake news of this that he's blaming on a media that's full of this and a CNN that talks bad about him. But, you know, you just gotta talk about it properly. And it's you, the enemy combatant. Did you drive through IEDs? Were you a Muslim that was beaten down? How close to you were those buildings on 9/11? Did you believe there were bodies in that Pennsylvania field? Have you forgotten about that Pentagon built and constructed? Oh, dear lordy. Penta. 9/11. I forget the year. 1940s was really weird. Good time to be alive. What was everybody doing in the 40s? I'm going to tell you what. The Philippines. I'm going to tell you what. Start creeping in on who's who in the zoo. You find out where you play. Well, you might have played in that well. And you might have had multiple roles. Would you want to take a ride in the OSS? I'm talking old Earth now. We're closing out some storyboards of lore. The lore of the players. Listen to Michael Jaco. That man's blowing the weather around. And he's killing people by meditation. So you don't get to be a better bad ball Mr. Clean with a mustache than Michael Jaco. He is at the right hand of Trump. See him in the Empire, waving his hands. I'll be back. I'm going to go to spit shine my Jergens lotion throne. And I like Michael Jaco. And if he can laugh at all this, then we're brothers. Because we can tease each other. Well, let's see who does better at who. I don't think he's a real good joker, Jaco. You know, he tries. Nah, a Street Fighter. Nah. Well, let me tell you, I'm meditating the Street Fighters in like Jaco worship. Well, I was never in the military, but I'm telling you guys, we are gonna fucking do it. And come on, my boss. Come on, my boss, because I'm not dead yet. Kristen W is dead, but we don't know why. It's all kind of fuzzy now. All right, let's get back to New Earth. It's just an adventure. It's all adventuresome. You're untouchable. You're God. So be that. Okay? David, Yeshua. They're all here. Their personalities and their high selves are two separate things. Okay? So, in order to enjoy the company of both Isis and Mary, you're dealing at the separation of the personalities. So that is just to meet them and to know the details of how the growth occurred is to me, I could spend, because it's royalty. It's Glaxonberry. So she goes up there, the Aramaic, but the blue-eyed part is embedded in all this, and it's genetic, and they have his blood. But let's talk new Gaia. Her name is Gaia. Let's talk about inner Earth. When we blow the lid off all this, we're going to find out that we can go to inner Earth. So all you first wavers, you transcendent avatar beings that are hearing me, we're going in. We have time to go in. We got 1,000 years to hike. It's a lot of time to knock it out. Take a year. Hey, I'm doing 3 years in Earth, fellas. Do, 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 do. There's no Titanic. You're just going. Go on a jungle boat through Shambhala, if that's the best way to do it. It won't cost anything. Whomever may be down there in Agartha, maybe they can come up
Your device isn't set up yet.
to us.
To get started,
Okay,
download the
thank
Google
you.
Home app on a phone
Thank
or
you.
tablet.
Oh, you sound like Rambo's mate. So, now, 41 minutes. I'm borderline ridiculous. You probably turned this off by now. But I will say that understand the elements of the seraphim and the analogy of the dragon, and then go into space and think about the elements, gassing it out there, and the imagery that invokes, that eventually becomes a protective energy that will not allow life to be desanctified in any way, shape, or form, and that exists as a protected way up there. Abwun, past Orion. Shh, over here. All right, so that's it. And there's a lot to talk about regarding New Earth. We're never going to stop breathing. Learn about yourself. Turn off the news and bring the love in your heart and start living that way. Peace and natural peace in nature. That's it. If it happens to be a mind assister, then good. As long as it's natural, not acid. Timothy Leary's dead, but DMT hyper breathing is alive, and DMT Bofu is a snort away or an inhale away. If you think you need to do that, it's a good experience, but it's not. You get there naturally. The calling is to tighten everything up now. We've all been experimenting and wobbling around with shamans, and everything has got its purpose. So if you think we're going to turn into a colony of DMT shot doers that wake up every day and just can't function, got another thing coming. So it'll be a balance like everything else. You'll have your unbelievably satisfying, multi-dimensional, for you, with others, in liberty and justice for all, in one, as divine grid programmers, which we all are. Because if you've got a seraphic heart, you're pointing at, from wherever you are, during your day that mommy's over here, and it's just an orientation of awareness that's included. And it's not all humans that are standing around you in a circle. It gets ascended, it gets angelic, because it's multidimensional consciousness, and it's beautiful. So that's where we're from, guys. We have this form factor now, and we're living it, and we're never gonna die. We'll write songs about it very soon. Peace.